right. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. How are we doing, Jack?
Doing great, man. Tim, thanks for running this show. You're great at your work. I really appreciate it. You add so much to the school by you doing this. And we want to do whatever we can, whatever we need to keep you around doing it. And I mean that. And anyone else that is running something online and doing a show or whatever, you should be using Tim. You should be emailing him because having someone separate to help you run the thing, it really matters a lot. It makes it more professional, makes it so somebody could jump in and give their testimonial and so on. It's really been helpful for sales, but also, just so people on the other end can really have a different, more professional experience. So I suggest you use Tim to everyone. So that's really meaningful.
Starting right off the bat with a commercial for me. This was great.
But it's true. It's true.
Well, with that, I guess I should do my job and put up the link there so that everyone can jump in, or anybody that has a question and they want to ask it live. Let's see that come up here. So that's the link. It's in the chat. There's a couple people in the chat already, but if you hit that link, StreamYard, and that code there, that'll bring you into the back room. You give us a wave, we'll bring you up here. We don't bite. We just want to talk about your experience with the trust, or why you want to jump in before the prices go up, or what you need to do to get in. Is there still a payment plan available?
There is, and there will
is.
be in the future. So that's still going to be there, but I would say pretty many people use that. Our platform that we use to do the website has that automatically built in. If you become someone they trust as someone, they add that, they make that an option to add that, and that's what they did because we run a good tight ship. And so they allow that to happen for all of our students. Yes. And they'll keep making it happen.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you want to click that link and jump in, ask any questions you have about trusts, and we'll be happy to sort out your questions there. But yeah, jump in before the price increase, because you'll be on your way home soon at the beginning of March. And then after that, it'll be bigger and better than it's ever been, and just a little bit more priced accordingly, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I want to go into those details, but I want to say something first before we get into that. If you did not see last week's show, you have to go watch it. Roxy Wright. I mean, if you would have your mind completely blown, not just by us talking, but by someone who has used the work at their school to their advantage, not just for themselves, but their whole family and their, massive business and so on. You have to go listen to Roxy Wright's testimonial, her getting on here and her discussion. It will absolutely blow your mind in a positive way. And isn't it great to have like a woman hero out there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I heard from different women, like, she's my hero. I'm like, me too. Like it's just like the reaction that everyone has is just like, she's so formidable. Like, I took your word and I did all this amazing stuff, and it was like, you are amazing. So please,
I just put up the YouTube link right there in the chat. If anybody wants to bookmark that and watch it for later, or when you're done watching this, jump right in there. But she is, not to cut you off, but she's a perfect example of the potential and what can be done when you just put your mind to it and just keep plugging away nonstop, and all that with medical issues too, which were just unbelievable. It was an unbelievable story from start to finish, that she has battled the medical issues and used the trust to benefit her on the medical front, and then protect her business and all her property. I think the joke was she only has one television that's not inside a trust. I think that's what she said. It's just crazy how much she has put it to good use. And
for her large family too. It's just really spread out to the ripples, or the whole thing. It's just, Leonard. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can't stop thinking about this woman. You're just like, wow, okay. And you know, it's like, well, maybe I can do, you know, what I need to do, you know, as a maybe I'll go out and do this, that, and the other thing. It's just wow, she's amazing. So,
Yeah.
uh, oh, okay. I just wanted to say that before we get into it because I mean, it could rock. It might be good for everyone to watch Roxy once a week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm ready to do my work. All right, here we go. You know, she's really something. Uh, but before I get into the price changes, I want to talk a little bit about my experience in India. Just one thing.
Sure.
Now we've been staying at a couple of these hotels in a hotel chain called Leela. Leela is a Hindu word that means like God's game. And so my book that you get in the inner circle of stuff is called Game of Souls. So it's really about the Leela. And so I'm staying at the Leela, and their philosophy that they bring to whatever they do for people that stay with them is an Indian philosophy, which is guest is God, because you never know when God is going to be your guest because God can be in human form. And so, guest is God. They're just always careful about that spiritually. And so, their service is like ridiculously impeccable. Their prices for their rooms is kind of matches other hotels that are pretty nice too, but they have way better service. They have way better rooms and amenities and all this stuff. Like it's just absolutely top notch to the point where they do live music every evening in this courtyard that you can kind of hear on the grounds and also inside your room. And like when you're having dinner, live music quarter to 7. So like just before dinner
On
and
on
through
that
dinner.
grand piano right behind you?
Not on the grand piano, not on the grand piano, but they're playing like Indian music or
Yeah.
real Indian instruments outside. And where they do it is pretty cool because it's in this large, like still pond, like not a fountain, but overflowing
Sure.
thing. They set up a stage in the center of it and they light these, natural gas flames in it too around it. And so you can stand out there in the courtyard and listen to it, but it kind of goes everywhere. And it's really cool that they local hire these very talented musicians that kind of like the band changes a little bit who's in it every evening because they have a bunch of different players. So it isn't always exactly the same. So they really are focused on the guest experience. So, uh, and what we did, you know, that's kind of the way at Liberty Aid Academy. I do all this work first, so I have the experience, and so I know the steps to make each thing happen myself because I did it myself. Like I'm the chef here, and I do it, and then I'm like, okay, how can I make the students' experience easiest to be able to do each thing? You know what I'm saying? So my philosophy is like guest is God too for the people at Liberty Aid Academy. I want them, you know, everyone has a busy life. America's like, you know, da 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 da. Let's go. We have so much to do. But people need downtime. And in their downtime, if they're choosing to do this work, the only thing I want to have happen in the shortest amount of time possible is their life is made easier. You know what I'm saying? At every step they do, I don't want their life to be harder. Oh, I got to do all this work and stuff. Because that's all the internet fakers out there. They have processes just absolutely waste your time and money and kind of dishearten you to be like, well, you know, I don't want to do anything else. I'll just, you know, grinding away is hard enough just to pay the bills. But, you know, this work, all of it actually works. You know what I'm saying? And we categorize it. You just always start with the trust. So there, you know, you're never going to pay the IRS again, anything ever. And you're never going to have to fill out an IRS form ever again, just right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? That helps everyone, literally everyone, immediately. And no one's going to take anything out of your trust forever. No one's going to come take assets. So, some of the largest problems that everyone has are immediately handled with a couple days of study and work, and that's it.
Mhm.
So then on, all our courses are listed as to, what the name of the course is, very clear. So you go in there and say, oh, well, my life would be solved better if I took this one next, like
Right.
how to get an EBT. That's $300 a month off your food bill every month from then on. So that's $3,600 a year. So maybe you start next with that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, oh, my medical bills are driving me out. I got to go to the doctor all the time. So maybe free health insurance is your next thing. This list is so you know your own life, so you can go in there and choose the next thing that's appropriate for your life. You know what I'm saying? So always start with the trust and then go through the list in the mentor program and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to hit this one next, and so on. And then eventually you get around to like the business finance one-on-one courses, which is about how to build credit for the trust. Roxy went into that. Like she was just sitting there in line and she's like, okay, yeah, I'll get a credit card. And she had looked into that. And so she knew the details and she just like, okay, in the app, she answered the questions and she got an 80,000
Yeah.
credit limit for a credit card, which they issued. So, when she had a minute, she did that work, and that's how it worked out for her. So, do the trust and then do the list that's most appropriate for you in the mentor program. Makes your life easier. Oh, this one, then that one, and so on, and it'll accumulate. I say, if people could put in 1 to 2 hours, that's it per week, their life will change dramatically in a few months. You'll get some breathing room, you'll get more money back, you'll have a much better life experience by using these methods to really cut down your monthly costs and really keep everything that you have, all your assets, your revenue stream and stuff like that, to really keep it safe, so nobody's going to mess with your life. I've done all this work myself first, and so, it really works, like Roxy was saying, for her, all she did was put her real estate in the name of the trust, and automatically her property taxes went away. And so on. You should really watch that video. I'm not just saying it. Like it's really a practical how-to of using this course material. So uh anyway, go ahead and
That's
tell them about this link. Yeah.
that's the YouTube show from last week. So it's in the chat. There's a bunch of people in the room watching us now. And if you have an experience or a question, type it into the chat. Didn't mean to interrupt your flow there, but that's the YouTube link is in the chat right there from Roxy's show. Just putting that back up again. But if you have a question or anything specific, because the courses I've done it myself. I'm here because I'm a paying member of the tribe, and it works. And I went through the course and got it set up. And like you said, if you take a couple hours a week, you can get it done in relatively short time. But if you need it done quick, you can blow through those in an evening and get your paperwork done the next day and really make it happen. So yeah, it's a great course. Really, really very thorough, and I appreciate it. So back to you.
Thanks, man. What I was saying is, I'm staying at these Leela hotels at Shade. Guest is God. And so, what happens when you get treated like that? Kind of the responsibility falls on your shoulders to treat them the same. And so, Alan is traveling with me. I'm spiritually guiding him and some other people to God while I'm over here. And so, we're having this experience, and we go to this buffet that is kind of like a wonderful Las Vegas buffet. You know what I mean? If you ever been to Vegas and been to a good buffet there, it's like the food is like crazy. You know what I mean? It's sort of
Mm.
it's so wonderful. It looks beautiful and all that stuff. But the problem is here at the Leela, all the food looks like beautiful. It's such a presentation, and the wait staff is amazing, and all the experience is amazing. There's live music playing. You're having this experience, and then you go to eat the food. It's like all the food is weird,
Yeah.
and almost none of the food is good, and like the salad is large leaves and horrible salad dressing instead of like one nice Caesar salad, for example. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they have
Right.
all this stuff, and so we're like, okay, listen, we got to tell them. You know, we've been talking about this over our meals, like how can we tell them? You know what I mean? Like we feel responsible for them because we see, oh, there's like this chain of hierarchy of people working. They must be afraid. They must, one, never eat the food, and two, they must be afraid to say anything to anyone because in India it's hard to get a job and they don't want to lose their job. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like crap, you know, they're helping us out so much. How can we help them? You know what I mean? Because you know, the experience at the rest of the place is like just out of this world. Like it's amazing to have the experience at the Leela. So we talk about it. And finally, we decide last night, let's go up to the concierge and talk with them and ask for like the owners or the COO or CEO's email and get in touch with them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
obviously everyone's hands are tied here and the menu's the same everywhere else at the other Leelas. So we're like, they can't do anything, or they already would have done something. And they have like uh, a Chinese food place and an Indian food place, and that's mainly what's on the menu at the buffet. It's not like they have a separate restaurant that's like Mexican. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So you can't like have a whole nother experience some other night. And so we need to explain these things to them. And so we're like talk to the concierge, and they have the head chef come out with the second is chef, and then they have this dude in a suit who's like looks over the food and beverages. And
Sure.
so they're like, they show up and they're like, no, we want to make you whatever food you want. And we're like, no, that's not what we're trying to get happen. We're not trying to
Right.
better our individual experience because guess is God. So you put the responsibility on us. So we're here to help you, not you here to help us more. That's not what we're trying to do and make more work for you. We're trying to make your work easier for you. And
Hmm.
so we're like, you know, you really need to pay us to come. Yeah, bad food,
Yeah.
right. But presentation, ridiculous. They're working so hard to do this. Yeah, it had no flavor. Exactly, Reagan. Reagan. Right. Exactly. And so uh no one freaked out here at all
Yeah.
because they're actually trying to get your experience what we're what they're saying, they mean it, and there's just a disconnect. You know what I mean? Like they're making pizza every night and you're like, okay, the pizza finally, that's gonna be safe, but the pizza sauce is a little too sweet and they don't put enough cheese on it, and the dough isn't fresh made dough. So if they just make New York style pizza, which is plain, which everyone at least likes a lot, some
Right.
people love, they don't quite do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's under these heated lights. It's always ready and fresh, more of it, and so on. But conversely, they have one thing that's great at breakfast. Their orange juice is fresh squeezed,
Yeah.
and it disappears in like 10 minutes. They have to fill it up again. So I'm like, see, your orange juice is perfect. And so, yes, I haven't registered it in California, and I started it. I'm California in Arizona, but I started it there. I ended up registering it in Arizona, in Florida. But if you have a question like that, Leonard, please put it in the classroom, our private forum. There's a there's a section about registering your trust, and you'll get feedback if anyone has in there better than in this show, because this is like, oh, does Jack remember? Well, we have so many postings in the classroom, but we have so many other people in there. If anyone has done it, that's the place to get the best answer to that question. Actually put it in there, and then people will jump in if they have done it. Okay. Good question, but I want you to have success. So please do that. And that's the way you can best get success. Because, like I was saying, guess is God. Students are God to me. I want you to get that answered in the best way possible. So, Leonard, please put it in there.
And
So
can I just add that for anybody who's a rookie that's watching and doesn't know, but the original trust, the first part of the trust is an IRS issued trust, which is national, right? That's a goes all over the country. It's granted to you by the IRS, which makes it available anywhere. It works in all 50 states.
yeah, meaning what Tim's getting at is meaning you don't have to register a trust to use a trust. The only reason to register a trust is if you're building credit for the trust, and that's probably why Leonard is asking about it. But anyone who's doing it, oh, what, I got to register a trust? No, and no one has to. No
Right.
one has to. It's just when you get into the business finance 101 course, you're like, hey, I want to build, credit for the trust. That's one of the first steps because, like every other entity you get, like a LLC or a nonprofit or a C corp or something, you purchase through the Secretary of State, and it's already registered at a Secretary of State, which if you're applying for credit, say a credit card or something like that, and you fill out an application for that credit card, the creditor goes and looks you up at the
Mhm.
Secretary of State. If you're not there, they won't issue credit. So, and because this is a private trust, i.e., meaning you create it yourself, it's not already registered at the Secretary of State. So it's only for building credit, and it is a step you can take, but you can't take it in every state. But that's why I show how you could do it in Florida, and there's some other states that people have done it in that have reasons to do it. So get into registering the trust. That section of the classroom, read about the postings in there, fill yourself in a letter to your case, please do that, and you'll be much more filled in about that process. And then go ahead and post your question in there too to get everyone's feedback, including mine. Okay. Thank you for that, Tim. So back to the story about guesses God and the Leela. So I'm sitting there, Al and I are sitting there talking to, like the head chefs and this other guy in a suit, and and we're doing it at the concierge station, and all the concierges are there, like, oh man, this guy's actually telling the real thing, and these guys are actually trying to help us because they are super helpful. The concierge is like, man, the stuff they done for us over here in India, they're like supreme. So we're like, man, we got to help these people out. So anyway, this guy's in this suit, finally the chef's leave, and we're like, Dad, go back to your work. Thank you for the positive stuff. And this guy's name, I can't remember what his name is, Samir, maybe something like that. Maybe it's Samir. But I was like, what does your name mean? And he said, it has many meanings, but it means air. I was like, oh, you're air. You're the talker. I was like, great. We need a talker up here. We need the dude in the suit to email the Leela, the COO, right, as CEO, because you say they care, and I'm sure they care from everything else they put into this hotel chain. So copy Alan or your email to them, Mr. Air, and we give him a list of things to talk to him about, just some basics. And then we'll do a follow up. And I say, you should really pay Alan to come back and like taste your food and help you, because I'm not coming back to India. It's just too hard on my health and everything. Like, I'm not going to help you. But while I'm here, you should get his help. And and if you don't want us to do it, which only you could trust us, because no one else took the time to tell you all this. So
Right.
we're actually the only two trustworthy people you should hire to do this. You got plenty of money, so you should pay us. You shouldn't just comp us for a meal or something like that, or make us our own private meals. Don't do that. We're not interested. So anyway, it was just our way to take some time. You guys are great, but your food has to not just be the most beautiful looking food ever, but it has to taste good. So you need someone that's not a chef, right? Because this chef is like, very good, it's perfect, not a chef trying to go up the chef ladder in your kitchen, but you need someone outside the loop who's just tasting the food, that has traveled internationally, that knows, oh, that's a good pizza. You know what I mean? That's good salsa. That's good guacamole. That's good Chinese noodles. That's good, dosa. That's good. That's that's a good brownie. That's a good mousse. That's a good ice cream with chocolate sauce on it, with hot fudge on it. Someone that's tasting and going, no, you need to do it more like this or whatever.
Right.
Someone outside your chef loop, like, because they're just worried about losing their job, So, uh, anyway,
Taheen says, Leonard, register your trust in Colorado. Very easy online process. It was very inexpensive at $1 in 2023. And then Jack says, you don't have to live in the state to open a trust there, though, right? Oh, that's a question.
that's true too. You don't have to live in a state. You just have to give a physical address, not a PO box, a physical address. But you should be using an address where you get mail. You see what I'm saying? That's the main thing.
Right. And Dean says, you do not need to live in Colorado to register the trust. Chase Bank in Chicago was delighted with the CO Trust registrations.
Colorado Trust Registration.
Colorado.
Yeah. Thank you for that jump in. Exactly. And so, if and this is, I'm glad this happened on the show. Thank you very much for taking the time to type that out. Sometimes it doesn't on the show. That's why I recommend the classroom. And I also recommended that you two still go in the classroom and do this, because there are going to be other people who are trying to register the trust, can't do it in their state. And if you put that in there, they're like, what? $1 in Colorado, and it's fine. You will have helped many of your brothers and sisters out, right? Because you're signing a compact, a pact, a convention with Jesus Christ. That's a loophole that makes this trust okay. And so, first, there are two commandments Jesus had, right? Love God. Number two, love your brothers and sisters, which is showing love to your brothers and sisters right there. The trust registration in Colorado. So if you do it in the classroom, that's showing love to your brothers and sisters continuously, because it'll always be up. Thank you for that. What was that? I just missed, Tim.
No, that was Leonard saying, great, excellent news. Thanks.
Yes. Isn't it great? So many people are helping other people out, and this show can't be on 24/7. I can't be just sitting here. Oh, that's great, and that's what the classroom's about. It's private. It's not like, oh, what is that, a Facebook group? No. It's our own private app within our website. You become a student, and you're in there. You have your courses and stuff. One of them's called the classroom. You do a separate sign up in there, with a username and password. Then you go into our private forum. It's free to you, and then you could go in there and see so many people are using it. They're over. Alan pointed out to me last night. He's like, the number on your forum is 420. Yes, it's 420 now. So it's just funny. We have
now it's 421. I'm looking at it now. And, it's somebody joined, and maybe that was Leonard that finally got in there, and he's going to post his question. But yeah, you've got it broken down, if I may. Some intros, general discussion, announcements, and questions, general questions. But then it has specific topics for the EBT, business, opening a trust, mortgages, credit, and it goes on and on down the list. But there's also a search bar up at the top. So if you've got a topic that you can't find the answer to along the side, maybe someone mentioned it in one of the areas that doesn't have its own topic. But there's a ton of specific areas where you can find a lot of information, where a lot of people have asked questions already. So the answers are there. And then you can always ask it again, because obviously governments change their rules, and maybe they update things from time to time. So you might want to double check. But you can get a lot of good stuff, and just the support alone, as 421 people there, logging in, checking in, adding their 2 cents. It's a good feeling to know you're not alone, and not just relying on Jack. Which, Jack, you're in there every day, answering questions and saying things. So it's good, but it's not just Jack. There's a lot of people out there, and of course, like we mentioned, Roxy last week, a shining example. So it's good stuff to be in there with everyone else, the community. Teen, it's another member that discovered and mentioned it first. I registered several trusts and received credit from Chase in Chicago. Nice. Good job.
Thank you, and that's thanks for letting people know that you were in there and had success. And there are people in there besides me all the time. Like Alan is in there regularly. Hey, this and man, when he gives the answer, it's like da 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 da, da super detailed. And then there are people who've been doing the work forever, like me too. Like Dee Dee, who's like, hey, you know what? It gives real feedback for somebody that's been doing this, who got their trust so many years ago and has been doing a lot of this work too. So there are a lot of people with a lot of experience that are willing to just jump in quite often too. So yeah, it's wonderful. Thanks for that list, Tim, of the details. Um, Now let's now that we got over the philosophy as guest as God, I use an example. It's really that's the kind of focus that I'm bringing to the changes in the McCagg Mastery Trust and the individual courses coming up. Okay. So by March 1st, we're going to add a bunch of other courses, and then we're going to add those into the McCagg Mastery Trust bundle, which is like bundling all our work into one bundle so you can get it at a super discounted price, like 75% off, something like that. But we got some new courses coming up that I'm going to be creating and that I've already helped other people do, and done myself too. If, either I've done one of those two things. Sometimes I don't have the issue myself, but I need to help other people with them, because they have a real need that exists. So let me go into one of the things that I've done these on and put them up when they've been a concern on when I've used different platforms in the past. I haven't been able to put them on the website of the school, but now I can bring them back in from the skunk works that I use once they're really successful and put them in my main work, Liberty Aid Academy. So JesusChristTrust.net is the church that I use, because the church is kind of like an umbrella that I could do things under, that the government's not going to mess with me or anything like that. See if they work, become successful, and then if they allow them to be up on the platform, bring them over to Liberty Aid Academy. Two of those that I'm going to use are foreclosure success. Like if you're in the middle of foreclosure and you want to keep your property, I've been 100% successful with everyone that has used that course information. And the other one is my stuff that I started off this work with over a decade ago, and that's called debt forgiveness. It's really clearing issues from your credit report, and how to do that. I'm bringing those two courses back in as individual courses to Liberty Aid Academy and adding them to the McCagg Mastery Trust bundle.
Awesome. Yeah, Dean says, adds again, the forum classroom is invaluable for information and questions. John repeatedly states this for a very good reason, so you should take advantage of this beneficial outlet. Yep.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And I've been saying, I'm going to bring consults back to doing to the McCagg Mastery Trust bundle, and I was going to bring them back to the website, but I'm not in a way that I'm going to do one consult if somebody wants it. I'm going to bring back the concierge program, and that's going to be at I think I'm going to put it up at $12.97 for that, and that's 5 consults. Meaning, what I've seen is people that use my consult process in the past, I use it like every month for like 5 or 6 months, move mountains. Like,
right.
Because they do a certain amount, and then I talk to them a month later and they check in with me, and they, do basically their life changes forever. Like we had someone open up a trust in Canada, do so many things as she got the concierge and moved mountains. I'm telling you, because my goal is that people do so much with this work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be like a community college. You know what I'm saying? Where, hey, some people got some stuff. I want to be like Harvard. You know what I mean? Like you get the best job, you get the best outcome, and you're known for being the best. That's the only thing I care about, that people have like an experience like Roxy has had. Like that's what I want people doing. You dedicate on your end, I dedicate on my end. Your life changes. It will bear no resemblance to what it is before. That's what I'm doing. So uh, why don't you read Joseph's thing here, and then I want to
Yeah.
go back to what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So while Joseph's having that experience that you're talking about, hi, Jack. The most amazing thing happened today. I went to my doctor's appointment and thought I had to make a co-payment, and the receptionist saw my Medi-Cal card. She ran it, and I didn't have to pay.
What?
And that's
What's
all
up?
since having the trust.
And Joseph, I mean, I know. Joseph also put up, kind of recently, he put up his testimonial of erasing his student loans. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
he went over for the debt forgiveness stuff over on JesusChristTrust.net, used it, and made his student loans disappear. So
Nice.
he's had such a great this.
And he's got a full-time job with insurance. So he just used his card to take care of the extra little bit they try and get out of you. They
I'm
try
so
not to
happy.
not to let you get away without paying something, but the trust the trust helps you, protects you from that.
Yeah, so fantastic. Thanks for sharing.
Eliminating the financial medical nightmare situation is a true comfort. Yeah, absolutely. And
And that's a huge part of
okay, I
Roxy's testimonial that will
was just gonna
blow
say the
your
same thing.
mind.
Yeah,
I can't even.
unbelievable.
It's not even worth saying it because you're listening to Roxy. You're like, what? Oh my God! You have to hear it from her straight up. Straight up. It's like, it's you can't even believe it. I can't even reach. I hate retelling her story because she tells us so perfectly. It hits you right in the heart. You're like, oh my God, Roxy, you're my
Yeah.
hero. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm not bringing up consults again just on their own. I'm going to bring up the concierge program, and then see what's going to happen. Prices are going to change, go up to 24.97 for the whole bundle on March 1st. But then later, I'm going to add the concierge program on July 1st, and the bundle is going to go up to 34.97. Okay, so those 4 months is going to give a window of time to people that don't want to get my time, right? That's going to give you a window of time to get a discounted jump into the new McCagg Master Trust. Anyone that's been a student in the past and got either the trust or the McCagg Mastery bundle, I'm going to have a super discounted price for you to get into all the new stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're going to be able to email in, make a discounted payment, and get all the new information in that 4 month window. Okay. So I want you to take advantage of that. All right. Starting March 1st, email contact@liberty8academy.org. So there'll be one upgrade price that'll be a little bit more. Just, hey, give me the upgrade. You know what I'm saying? And there'll be a discounted, even more discounted price if you're willing to do a testimonial. So uh because what? The testimonials really help other people, even if it's just, hey, I opened up my trust and it worked. You know what I'm saying? Even if your testimonial is just that. But what I find is people's lives are changed radically. They're like, well, let me just tell my story, da 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 da. And your testimonial really, really helps other people because I know everyone knows you watch the testimonials before you got your trust and everything. You're like, what? All that stuff happened to those
Mhm.
people? And that's how you become a student. So if you take the time to do that, we'll give you a discount and we'll put you into all these new courses. And so I mentioned two. Oh, why don't you go read this,
Sorry.
Tim? Sorry.
Yeah, Dean added in that the majority of public goes bankrupt through medical bills, and this trust will eliminate that nightmare completely.
Exactly. We're here to
Yeah.
do absolutely practical work. And listen, just opening the trust and using the hack of putting nothing in your person's name, your straw man, that corporate fiction, just that. and doing not one other thing, not even signing up for health insurance the way Joseph just said he did. Even just that, if you end up like in this emergency situation in any of the 50 states, right? You go into the emergency room, you say, they're like, "Oh, fill out the paperwork, then we can help you." And what a great thanks.
Yeah.
I'm dying over here. And so if you fill out the paperwork, just you have zero, right? For your person, I have no assets, no income, all that. All your medical service is free. So it's only by signing up for the trust and moving your stuff out of the person that already works for everyone. You see what I'm saying? Not your regular doctor visits and stuff you got to do like what Joseph did. But I mean, that gets solved super quickly that you're not going to be bankrupted or hurt, for any of these accidental medical bills they're trying to overcharge you for. You just won't pay a nickel. That's it. And
Right.
so that whole problem goes away almost immediately upon doing the trust. So that was super easy to fix. So thank you for bringing that up. I also want to bring up a list of other courses that I'm going to bring to as individual courses, but also again bundled into the Hag Mastery Trust, because these are real things. The price is going up just because prices of everything is going up, but also this real practical information is going to be inside that. One of them is no detainment and no jail. I know, they're always trying to get us on some little stupid thing, to say, oh, your license plates are no good. You know what I mean? Oh, you didn't get your registration. You didn't get your, they're always trying to nickel and dime us on all this stuff. They're like, well, then you got to go to jail. You're like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like so many things. So, how the trust makes it so you can't be detained or jailed ever. I've myself put to the test many times in their courtroom and outside their courtroom. Because listen, let's just be honest. One of the things why I go live every week is because everyone's like, what? This dude has to be in jail by now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
all the stuff he's done over all this decade plus now, he has to be in jail. Some people I know, they just tuned in like, this guy's got to be in jail for this because, the haters are always like, yeah, you could go to jail for that. No, that's why I'm on here live all the time. Target's on my back. And guess what? I'm fine again every week. Here I am live, no problems for any of this work for anyone. I'm living proof. So I was like, man, I got to make a course on why this works. No one's going to jail. They're not putting you in handcuffs. Don't matter what you did. It's not happening. Okay. Because what? You side with Jesus Christ. You're outside their jurisdiction and you agree to follow laws, right? You're not going to do anything evil at that point. You're not going to like, oh, I'm going to let my anger get away with me and I'm going to go, rob this store. No, these hacks make it so you can live your life now. And so you're not going to be doing these evil things that maybe they should jail you for or detain you for or something like that. There's not going to be a need, so they can't do it. You're literally outside the jurisdiction. I give the details on how you make that happen. That's a new course coming up. Another one is, I just got a letter in the mail. My wife shot me a photo in my email today. She's like, "Yay, it worked!" Like how to dissolve a trust. Like if you're building credit for a trust and you knock down the house of cards or you take all their credit, which is legal to do, dump all that money and assets into another trust and take them for 100 grand plus, and then your credit gets wiped clean every year. Or if you took EIDL money, PPP money, you're not paying them back like I suggested. This is how you dissolve your trust so they're not getting a nickel from you. They're not even going to try because you're going to close a trust. And so it's like, it's closed. What? You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? How you close it. So how to dissolve a trust, I'll be putting that course up. It's an important one. So that's going to go into it. Another one, which I'm going to start doing myself upon getting back, it's like how to get an online law degree. And that's even if you never went to college, even if you never went to college, how to get a law license, how to be a lawyer, which even the police fear. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Lawyers. Uh, I'm going to teach that, like where to go, how to do that, how that's going to work. I'm doing it myself starting when I get back, but I've really done all the research on how this is helpful for anyone and how, because man, I have so many people that stole my copyrighted work out there. It's not fair to other students to have to go through that blockade of evil doers out there, stole my work, make it doesn't work, and make it so they don't even eventually get to this work and do the real stuff that works and is practical and so on. So I'm going to start putting them all out of business from stealing my copyrighted work. I'm just going to blow them up in public and wreck the platforms too, and sue them. Like, oh, they're letting you do that stuff over on Facebook. I'm going to sue Facebook too if they keep them up there, and all the different platforms they're up, the URLs, the hosting companies. I'll be suing all of them. So and I know if people are doing righteous work out there, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just helping people, righteously. I'm not doing anything evil. So I know if you yourself are doing that, because the last time I brought this up, someone typed in here, hey, they're stealing my copyrighted stuff too. So I know this is happening to other people who are trying to help people out there. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a real valuable course that people can use.
Absolutely. Dean coming in with another testimonial of that he paid $15,000 for a private trust with the Patriot Group in 2011. It was not nearly as thorough as the Liberty Aid Academy Trust, and I only use John's trust now, and it's extremely comprehensive yet simple, and the training is great.
That's what I'm saying. So I want to go get this law degree, and I'm going to bury him. And if you could write me an email at contact@libertyaidacademy.org with the name of them. See, I got Tammy who answers all the emails. She's keeping a list of them people out there, and I'm going to hunt them down and put them out of business for ruining people's finances and lives. 15,000 and it didn't help anybody. It's absurd, man, what they're doing out there, these evil people, because if you haven't done it the way I do it, you're actually not helping people.
Right. Leonard's adding in, I think you touched on this, but if you already purchased the bundle, will the new additional information and courses be available as part of that bundle, or are we able to get them separately? So you said there's going to be a small window for an upgrade price, right?
Yes, a small for people that have gotten this in the past, we're going to have a super discounted price for you between March and July. We're going to be, yes, you could upgrade at an even cheaper price to upgrade if you're willing to do a testimonial, because that's what people, really come into this work for, is because they see all the testimonials and they're like, whoa, you know what I mean? That's so great. It works for everyone. But also, to answer your question, the courses will always be up individually too. So if it's like, okay, hey, I'm listening to you, Jack, say, but I don't need all the new courses, I only need one of them, then you could the course will be up. You'll click on it, you'll get on the course, you know what I mean, after your donation. So you could do it either way with an upgrade to all of them, or you can do it a la carte, and get the individual courses out over time if you'd like. Either way, I want to make sure both are available, so they'll both be available. But the upgrade will only be available for a 4-month window from March 1st to July 1st, because the bundle is going to go up in price again as I add the concierge to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that window is, when that's gonna be much cheaper. Because my time is going to be like 5 consults, and that's just not fair to upgrade you. Like, that's a lot of work for me. So it's really going to be a fair price once it all comes together at the end. And the concierge thing will be available separately. You see what I'm saying? So upgraded the 4-month window, and if you want to do the concierge thing later, do that whenever,
Right. Dean's also adding for 15K, I reserved virtually no training. It was ridiculous. So
No,
yeah,
no, yeah, no. I'm
between
here.
between your itemized videos in there and the classroom, you put those together, all available 24 hours a day. They sit there in my classroom and in my course tab. I love it. They can go back there anytime and just refresh my knowledge on it. It is great to have those resources, and including the
It's true. It's true. And listen, I want to give credit where credit's due. I have a great team of people here. I really do, and they're very trusted. And my wife used to help me because she uh, went to graduate school, and she did it for uh, what's the right term? Digital instructional training, and part of her work was to create an online Christian school uh, for uh, refugees from Malaysia. This couple had created this online Christian school for Christians that were persecuted because they were in a Muslim country. So she did that work, and here I was giving out, separate courses online and stuff like that. That's the way I was doing my work, and she was like, you need to make a school. And so she worked with me for a couple of years until the school was created and done and stuff. And then she was like, listen, I don't want to hear about your work no more. Like she's out now, but she's helped set up with the framework with her knowledge and stuff, and went out and found the right people who are now currently working with me still, who are all trusted. So I want to give credit where credit is due. My wife was like, man, let me help you for a little bit. And she jumped
right,
in and helped, and then she jumped back out. And so this wouldn't be happening without her help, to be honest, giving credit where credit is due. And now this team of people is here doing this work under this framework, really helping people. So, and that's why it happened. That's how it happened. I've been doing it for over 10 years, and she's like, man, you're not using the right format. Let me hook you up. And she did. She used to be on like the team page and all that stuff. And she's like, man, get me off your team page. Like, you can take too much heat. I don't want to be. I was like, I was like, I don't mind being the rodeo clown with the target on my back, because that proves, they can't detain me, they can't kill me, they can't mess with me. All this is legal. I need to show that to people. She's like, I don't need that. Get me out
right.
of that. You're fine doing that. I don't want to do that. And so, respect to her, credit where credit is due. She set up that organization process, and, got these three great women that are behind the scenes helping everybody do this work. Amy, who's doing all the logistics, the production, getting the courses up, all that. Tammy, who does all the social media, gets you at the front line, answers your emails when you're ready to contact us, stuff like that. And Shire, and she does all the paid advertising stuff that probably got you here looking at our work. Those three people are behind the scenes helping me make it so I can help you out here. And Tim, too, he's the one that's doing this show. So he's like, man, how can I work with you permanently? I'm like, hey, man, join the team.
Yeah.
Let us pay you. He's been volunteering. I'm like, let me click and pay you on Fridays. How about that, man? Because he's great, too, and he's on the team as well. So that's the team here helping you and making it so this school functions and runs. So thank you for saying all that, and thank you for jumping in and helping someone, and we have the classroom, like you say, people can help each other in an ongoing manner in that way. Because listen, I don't have real estate, for example, so other people are like, man, I need to get this real estate tax
Yeah.
exemption, you know what I'm saying? So there are a whole bunch of people doing that successfully and so on that are posted in the classroom. I don't have that issue, so I can't be like, here's the proof, you know. I'm just written. I don't want that hassle, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. So
Here's another one from Taheen. He's on fire tonight. Prior to purchasing the trust on December 25th, 2022, Merry Christmas. Several of my questions were comprehensively answered by your staff. It was very helpful and made my purchasing decision comfortable. I was guided to Liberty Aid Academy. Very
Yeah,
nice.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. I mean, really, my team here, I'm like, what can I do? Like Tammy, saying like she's a frontline and she's a professional that was doing this like customer support stuff for other organizations and still is sometimes. Uh but she didn't even tell me.
Hmm.
Or ask me questions or anything. She just opened her trust, and then she puts her real estate, her home, into a trust, and then the county where she is automatically gave her real estate tax exemption. And she didn't even do a testimonial. She doesn't like to be on camera and stuff like that, so she's not going to do a testimonial. I'm not going to ask her, but she didn't even tell me she did all this stuff. She's like, "Oh, I did that too," and that she watched Roxy's stuff and she emailed me. She's like, "Oh, that happened to me too." I was like, she automatically had her real estate taxes exempted too. I was like, Tammy, like we all do this work ourselves too, is why we can really answer your questions. And even if someone like Tammy, who I don't know, for some reason she likes to talk to everyone through email but doesn't want to do a testimonial, I'm like, okay, Tammy, no problem. I love you. And so does everyone else. But you're not going to see a testimonial from her, even though she's done like everything. She would be the next Roxy hero video, but she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I want my face on camera." I'm like, "Okay, Tammy, no problem. You don't have to do a testimonial, everyone, but if you do, I'll give you a discount."
That seems like a good deal to me.
Definitely.
And that's that's, I mean, this is a running testimonial every Thursday night when I show up here, because I signed up, and of course I was watching like everybody else. We got a couple dozen people showed up tonight to watch this live. I was showing up live, and I'm like, I can, and I'm happy to help. I like doing this. I do it for other people. And I was like, if I'm coming here every week, why don't I just, you know, sh- sit right next to John, and I can learn the way I do, but then help them, put the word out and get people in. We've great Roxy and Alan's been on, and other people have been in. So it's super simple. Where you can't get hurt coming on the show. So just come on in and ask your question, or give us a testimonial. I mean, it couldn't be easier than that. But I do it because I'm here. I'd be here anyway, sitting on the other side, just watching your. I couldn't come to Mondays when you're back on Mondays at noon now, and I watched that on the replay. So I knew I could make Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. I'm just happy to be here. So I was going to be here anyway. Might as well step up and add my 2 cents when I can.
Fantastic, fantastic. And now he's like, "Man, can you get me paid?" I'm like, "Yes, get on the team permanently." And think about coming on Mondays and doing that show, because that's going to happen if it fits your schedule. Think about it. Think about it. So before we close out, because Tim's got another gig he's got to do here, and we're right at the end of the hour, I just want to say the last course that I'm going to be added, and this is, all these courses are going to be added because I got feedback from people, who are current students that are having these problems. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and so, I would say, they put me in jail of some BS charge, freaking 20 years ago. And what I learned was half of the men in jail are in there for a child support payment. Literally, literally. Not because they don't want to support their children, just because they got rules and they're having a bad spot in their life. And so they put them in jail so they can't even then have a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's really something that doesn't help anyone. So how to get out of your child support payments isn't me being evil. Like, I know support children. No, it's making it so guys could be out even if they're getting foreclosed on, which is, every foreclosure happens illegally. I got foreclosed on, you know what I'm saying? So the bankers are doing evil stuff, making it so men can't even be proper fathers. That's not on them. That's on the banks. You know what I'm saying? And then they put them in jail because they had evil done to them from the bankers. That didn't help in no way. You know what I'm saying? So how to get out of going into jail from child support payments means they can actually support their children. So I'm doing that course too. So don't misread that. So anyway, that's the list of new courses and so on.
Well, I'll leave it at this one. Blue says, reading your words tonight helped me a bunch tonight for Tahine. And then they're adding, I downloaded the videos, listened daily on my while I was walking my dog. And there are loads of nuggets in these videos I learned through others. Thanks, John and Tim. Yeah, thank you. Glad to help, and valid, legitimate information. Very refreshing between all the scams and falsehoods out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man,
Sounds,
the scammers, it's just so horrible. Like
yeah,
this one school that just I am so looking forward to going after them, have 22,000 followers. Like if you're evil and sold your soul to the devil, you could get millions of followers. You know, it's so horrible. I'm really looking forward to shutting them down. Thank you
yeah.
for saying that. And thank you again. We're going to close out. Tim, thank you for being here. Thank you. Everyone has taken the time to type in and help everyone out by, expressing your experience here at Liberty Aid Academy. I really appreciate that. And we'll see you next week, next
You're right.
Thursday. Yeah.
Right here at 7 o'clock on Thursday, or you can catch Jack Mondays at noon on the same channel. He'll be doing it live from YouTube. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Tim.